Hello! Welcome to Chopped Greens. I am your host, Philip Amerine, sitting alongside
Wagner. Just kidding. Gary Boucher.
And we have a little bit of a different opening today because we saw Alien Covenant, and this was a pivotal song within the entire movie. I don't know about how pivotal, but it's definitely cool.
David's taste for classical music is like a running sound motif through both movies, Prometheus and this. So
It is. Yeah. That's something relatable to the character we can all create a humanistic hold on. All right, so let's even digest this whole movie. So we saw Alien Covenant, came out last week.
Yep.
And apparently, from what I've read, it did an 80% dip from opening weekend to now. Last I read, from Friday to Friday, it made... Oh, I don't want to butcher this, but I am. Give me a second. It made somewhere along the lines of $3 million or $8 million this week.
$3 million?
Yeah.
That's terrible.
My
God.
Well, that's sort of the same theme that happened last movie, Prometheus.
Did that happen too?
That happened again because it had a massive budget. It had I believe it was like somewhere along the lines of $250 million.
Oh my God.
Mostly because of the talent in the last movie, which was Idris Elba,
Fassbender,
Charlize Theron, Guy
Ritchie?
Oh my God.
Why did I say Guy Ritchie?
That was just awful. Cameo.
Guy Pearce?
He was definitely in there. So just to name some of the few headliners in there.
Thankfully, this movie has already made back its budget. And
yes,
it'll probably make
and that's
about
just
twice its
domestically.
budget, but still, like...
It's now in for $3 million for this week, and it's only going to go down, as does any movie. I mean, unless if for some reason it makes an Oscar comeback, which I doubt it will.
And that may be visual effects.
So it's kind of hard to discuss a horror movie within a review, because when you and me talk about it, part of what makes horror so great, if you are a horror buff and you actually enjoy horror movies, is the anticipation of what's going to come next, because you don't know it, and you have to marry that with the fact of knowing something within the story that the characters themselves don't know. It's that...
Given the fact that it's an alien movie, though, you should already know that, like, 80% of everyone will die, because that happens every time.
And it actually somewhat followed the formula, so...
Yeah, I thought it's so funny, because I hadn't seen Prometheus, and so I went and watched it the night before I saw this movie, and it was like...
Did my prediction come true? Were you bored out of your mind?
No, I was not.
You weren't? I was completely
I thought
bored.
it was a little too long, and I thought that
way mouthy.
A little bit too grandiose. I think that movie.
There were so many elements within Prometheus that were just
Prometheus was super underwritten and overcast
understanding.
for the fact that the script was so lame. But I enjoyed it, but I thought the Alien Covenant was a lot better. But in general, like a lot of the plot points, it kind of hit the same ones.
Okay, so that's really where we're going to have to go here. Mm-hmm. So, in Aliens, there's almost this formula that you have to hold on to. Now, the dread is are you, one, able to break away from that formula successfully? Mm-hmm. No, because Aliens 3 or Alien 3... Predator versus Alien, all that stuff, which broke away from the mold, and were only made for money.
This was nice because it came back to like what made Alien awesome, which was like infecting people.
A strong heroine, female lead character,
and then seeing aliens burst out of people's chests and being just a horror movie. That's why we like it.
Yes, but I think I can appreciate the attempt that Ridley Scott is doing in conjunction with Prometheus and now Alien Covenant and the following film or films to come. There's definitely at least one more that's going to come out and act as another prequel to the Alien franchise with Sigourney Weaver. Yep. And there might even be two. Ridley Scott, interviewed for the Prometheus movie, gave out that little tidbit that there might be two, at least one more.
So we get some more David.
Yes, some more David.
David which is awesome.
Which I would say David, or Michael Fassbender's role in this movie, it's probably one of the highlights of the entire film.
I would say because, unfortunately, I mean, it had a strong female lead, but I didn't feel like really any of the crew members I really cared that much about.
Okay, let's go down the list then. Yeah. Michael Fassbender plays David and Walter. He plays two AIs in this film.
He's awesome.
Which is interesting because he plays one of the antagonists and protagonists.
Yep.
And, I guess, because it's not really... It's almost the main antagonist, but in an Alien movie, you'd have to put the... What, the antagonist in the Aliens? So
yeah.
Okay, so anyways.
And you can still sympathize with David in a really weird way. That's why he's a good villain. Because you understand where he's coming from.
Catherine Waterston is Daniels, the strong heroine or female lead in this film. Billy Crudup is Orem, and Danny McBride is Tennessee. Outside of that, that's really where the list ends as far as notable big names who you would even have some resemblance of knowing coming into the theater. So what it sticks to is that formula of a strong heroine. A bunch of people come to an unknown planet or area, and then all chaos breaks loose.
Yes, which is just a tried and true formula for an entertaining, suspenseful horror movie. You know that they're walking to their dooms pretty much, and when you see the particles implant themselves into people's bodies, you're like, oh, it's starting. And
for Ridley Scott, even, that's somewhat his bread and butter. He kind of helped define the genre of horror. You have to really hit that last
sci-fi horror too, like really good suspenseful colonization sci-fi horror. It's great.
Mm-hmm. And what I can really appreciate what he's trying to do, because in past interviews he's put along the notion that what he foresees for this franchise, for the Alien franchise, which he's kind of putting some legitimacy back into with Prometheus, with Covenant. What he foresees and what he really wants to make these movies into being is something along the lines of Star Wars. That's what he's related it to, and that's what he said. How believable do you see that?
So, I mean, he's following the formula of, he did the first three, now he's doing a prequel series.
Okay.
It doesn't, have the name recognition of Star Wars, but that would be really interesting to see, because I enjoyed this movie. More than I would say enjoy the Star Wars prequels. And
that's for sure.
I think that the first two Alien movies ever, Alien and Aliens, are probably as good as, in a different way, the first two Star Wars movies, A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. They're like these quintessential horror and action movies. So that would be interesting to see if he decided to make it like a huge franchise.
Well, let's address the elephant in the room here. One, it will never be Star Wars.
It won't.
Simply based off the fact of let's go two facts. Two facts. One, the earning potential is not there because you already. It's a niche category within a niche category.
And
for one, it's a horror film, and on top of that, it's a gory science horror film.
Yes.
So within there, you're already going to dispose people out who don't see horror films in general, and then past that, they have to be in a sci-fi.
You'd have to do something different with the franchise, but Alien is an Alien if you don't see some crazy blood and guts with a really hard R rating. That's why we like it.
It's required, so automatically it will never have that earning potential or the revenue or the brand that Star Wars does.
Once you bump from a PG-13 to an R, it's gone.
Yeah, because anybody can really go see Star Wars, even if you don't know it. My girlfriend went and saw it with me. She hasn't even seen the first 6, and she saw the last 7th one with me.
Yeah.
And she enjoyed it. She didn't possibly understand all the references and the entire story, but she can still get along with it. Alien, that will not happen because of what they're trying to accomplish in the whole story origin.
And it's gone on a lot more tangents than Star Wars did. George Lucas had the Star Wars story
world
written
in his mind
already, and this did. It had the first 2 great movies, and then like 3 and 4 were really lame, and then they had AVP and the second AVP, and now they're going back, and so it's kind of like they're making it up as they go.
And that's not bad. What I really liked about this film, just as a stepping back and trying to look at it as a whole rather than go in and tear it to pieces like the alien that I am as a movie critic. What I really enjoy about it as just a general idea is taking well-known a story, a well-known piece, and trying to put an origin story to it. Make it make even more sense than just accepting, hey, this was a great 80s movie. It just happened. It was just aliens just popping in. Just accept it as it is. I like that you're now going in and trying to connect it. To
connect all the lore. I really appreciate it. I'm not going to spoil any of the major stuff, but there's some really cool tidbits and some cool lore in there, and you're like, oh my gosh, it's all making sense. From all the weirdness in Prometheus to like how Alien started. It's really cool.
As another appreciation, I really did enjoy that they had a lot of reveals that weren't just horror reveals. So let's think of Psycho, where all of a sudden they just turn turn away the shower head and then they kill the person, you know,
Yeah.
and it's just like oh my goodness, they're dead. You know, that's a reveal in and of itself.
Yes.
Or, you know, Scream, where the guy's listening on the bathroom stall and then a knife pops in through his ear. You know, those are horror reveals that are specific to the genre of somebody's now dying.
Yes.
But Alien had both regular reveals, horror reveals, and now storyline reveals, which I actually really appreciated. It had
dramatic
a couple
tension.
Yes, and it actually made me vested into the story, which a lot of these horror films do not have. They're based on a premise which can be picked apart very easily. Mm-hmm. And now what Ridley Scott is trying to attain is some legitimacy and trying to make sense of a premise that was set in the first original film, which is hard to do when technology is only getting better as we age from that movie. Yeah. But now you're trying to make it you got to make it so that you can have a visual storytelling that's doable and makes sense, but is not overwhelmingly better than what was originally there.
That's where Prometheus went wrong, I thought. It missed the mark on a lot of that stuff, and it tried to concentrate on stuff that wasn't really important. This tried to make it a little bit more grounded. It still had a few moments of grandeur and all that stuff, but in general it was more about the story at hand and not like these crazy giant ideas that didn't really hit.
Now let me tear it apart a little bit. Let's go piece by piece of tearing it apart. I truly did not. For me, there was a lot of, while it broke away from the horror cliches and really set up a lot of good visuals, Avatar-esque, really. What it failed to do is...
I thought you meant like Avatar: The Last Airbender. I was like, it was not as bad as The Last Airbender.
No. Two completely
James
separate.
Cameron's Avatar.
Yes.
Okay.
But where it failed to separate from the horror genre, and I don't know if this was on purpose because of Ridley Scott, you have to, in horror, stick to some rules, some strict set of rules in order for it to be successful or not. But there were a lot of cliches that stuck through. For instance, when they first awake from hypersleep, because that's I mean, I don't think that's giving anything away. That's in the beginning. They all wake up from hypersleep.
Yep.
We never get a real acknowledgement or even just in general knowledge of how many people there are. So it's somewhat of a cop-out when all of a sudden you're just like, okay, so there's 8 people. Wait, now all of a sudden there's like 20? Were there 40? Because I don't remember there being this many people there, and now they're just killing random characters that I don't know were there in the beginning.
Wasn't there like a little graphic at the beginning that said like colonists 2,000, crew members like 17 or something?
See,
I feel like even if there were 17 crew members, they showed us like 10.
Okay, yeah. And in the beginning,
and the rest of the crew is like, where are they?
All of a sudden they fill up this entire like little mini spaceship. Yeah. And then there's like an entire spaceship going down to a planet, an unknown planet. And there's about 40 of them or 20 of them, and it doesn't correlate with my mind of, I didn't see this many people wake up. So when later on in the movie, when they're doing a lot of reveals, and they're making it evident and hitting points hard where it's like, okay, this is going to be important, later on in the movie, they did not do a justifiable job of solidifying and saying, hey, I don't need a specific number of like 43, but give me a round number of like, you know, there are 25 life forms on this ship now awake. You know, just something to really puncture through and get me, okay, 25. Oh, that guy's down. Doom. One more guy down. Doom. You know, just give me something so that way it's not just Jurassic Park, Lost World, where just, there's another guy dead who's by a velociraptor. Okay, you know.
At least Jurassic Park or Jurassic World had that screen. It just showed X.
Yes.
X.
Yes.
Dead.
Yes, something that I can somewhat keep along with and be like, okay, now they're kind of going down the list. Where am I getting to my main characters?
That's what stinks is that like a lot of these characters are like, well, you know that this guy's probably going to get infected and die within 5 minutes. So, there he goes. All right. Well, I didn't care about him anyways. All right.
And there was a lot of ingenuity towards the deaths, which I think is ironically something you probably really have to think about as a director is, well, you know, when you're writing this as a script, he died. So how do I make it so that this is somewhat artistic and believable and not just say, oh, alien popped out. Okay, there's another one whose alien's going to pop out of his chest. Oh, there's another one and he's an alien. There we go. So there was a lot of ingenuity as towards how they were going to die, which is good. You know, again, nothing being ruined by us saying, somebody's dying.
People die in the Alien movies, and things are burst out of people's abdomen. That's just how it is.
Yeah, let's just say that's a spoiler. Not everybody will survive.
Yes. Most people will probably...
This is not Guardians of the Galaxy.
No.
Wrong spaceship.
These are the losers of the galaxy.
Losers?
This company that keeps on sending colonists, they can't do it right. 80% of their employees have died every single time. They got to change it up.
Right. And I thought that speaking of changing up, a lot of good things that they did was they had a good amount of tone setters where I felt antsy and anticipatory of bad things to happen, and they didn't always happen.
Yeah.
That was very nice. That reinserts the element of a thriller into a horror film, which is different.
Yes.
They're two different genres.
Yes.
Think.
I prefer thriller to horror.
Yes, think Saw as compared to maybe Freddy, where Freddy's a horror film where it's just kind of going for jump scares. Saw really gives you that slow burn of spiking up your blood sugar, spiking up your, and then BAM! Getting out with a payoff. So they were able to successfully, in a lot of moments...
That's what I thought. The pacing was great, and it wasn't just straight gore. And I thought that they blended the gore and the thrilling moments together really, really well.
Who was your favorite actor in this?
Michael Fassbender.
Yeah, that's really...
What stinks is that the cast, I think, was cast well, but the characters, which I also had a problem with in Prometheus, were really underwritten. Even that main girl, who I think she put in a great performance, I just didn't feel it.
Main girl being Daniels,
yes.
Catherine Waterston.
Yes.
Who was also in Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
Yeah, she was the
completely different role, too.
The main witch who was showing...
in Fantastic Beasts. Yes, not in Aliens.
Which is crazy, but I don't know.
Best performance.
In the original, Alien movie, you really get a feel that each of these crew members have a distinct personality and distinct motivations, and when it all intertwines, there's like a lot of drama that happens on the ship, and it plays out really, really well. Whereas in this one, David has a very defined motivation, and everyone else is kind of like, we have to survive, which is like, that works for like a run-of-the-mill thriller, but for trying to reach cinematic greatness, you gotta have better characters. I thought that they weren't that much.
Well,
there.
That is something that, going back to the cliches that happen, there are a couple moments, and not enough to where it really irked me, but enough to where it's of note.
Yeah.
Where characters did that thing of, why are you going there? Why are you following him? Why are you doing this? You know you're gonna die. But they don't, and they do, and they die.
We have to go downstairs. I was like, why are they going downstairs?
Yes.
Because we need you to die!
Yes, that's very true. There was a couple moments, very predictable deaths.
Yes. But, I mean...
But going back to... and then on the flip side, he plays Walter, and actually just completely buys it, especially when they're supposed to look alike and supposed to be...
where they get you.
Yeah, yes.
The only thing that could define them was their accents, but...
Yes, but they had... Michael Fassbender does a marvelous job of defining each character differently enough to where you actually can tell the difference to where they have different little ticks.
Depending on their gait and how...
Their face.
How they look at people, how they move. It's really interesting because he played in a scene, obviously with a stand-in, but with some nifty camera and digital work, he basically played a scene with himself as two different characters and went back and forth.
Completely viable. Awesome. Completely viable. And going on to our... What's the word? Heroin?
Yes. It
is? Okay, I didn't want to make a drug reference without fully knowing.
It's only a drug reference if you make it.
So what about our heroine, Gary? What about our heroine? Catherine Daniels, yes. So you said you've seen all three movies within a 2-month period.
They're very fresh. And obviously Ripley is...
Ripley's
so memorable and fantastic. I actually probably liked... Eve from Prometheus a little bit better than Daniels, not because of the actress, just because I thought that her motivation was a little bit more clear. In Prometheus, she was trying to find like the answer to life and trying to talk to her creators, and in this one it was maybe that's because the last one had less of a straight up horror feel, and this one the motivations were less defined instead of like survive.
Right. I felt where this one was a blend of story and that thriller element of it, the Prometheus was totally bogged down in story.
Yeah,
and
Prometheus was trying to like set
just
up
be this
the lore,
intellectual explanation towards everything, all in one movie, and it failed a little bit in that.
Yes.
But what Daniels does in this one, I think it was a nice blend of the two female leads before her.
Yeah,
we go to Ripley. And then we go to what was the
Eve.
Prometheus?
I forget her last name, but her first name
Eve
is
something.
Eve. Yeah.
Okay, so we go from those different two now to this one. I thought that she's a very nice blend of that fiery when need to be, but also very demure almost, and very demure, but very almost of an innocence there that is necessary for that specific role in an alien movie.
Her name in the last movie, I'm so sorry, listeners, was Elizabeth Shaw. So please do not crucify me for saying Eve. I don't know why. I knew it was an E. Elizabeth Shaw.
Elizabeth. And when we're looking at all this, do you like in a film, because we are in the age of sequels, that's just a given.
Sequels, remakes.
It's not going to end until the viewers, the audience,
have deemed it not fun anymore.
Right, with our checkbooks and our pocketbooks, and not going to
movies
anymore.
You and I are supporting the cinematic machine of sequels
Popping
and remakes
sequels
because we go see them every week.
So, but with that in mind, do you enjoy that while trying to make a sequel off of another horror film? And this really is the 6th or 7th installment of the Aliens franchise. Are you appreciative of the fact that he's at least, Ridley Scott is trying to direct some storyline to put an actual element of why we would care about this
instead of let's go fight aliens versus, well, Ridley didn't have a hand in that movie, but I do appreciate what he's doing.
Why?
Well, I don't think he's trying to make a quick buck. I think that he's trying to. So obviously, Alien is his baby, and I think it's admirable that he's trying to take it out of the ashes. That because it was a joke of a franchise like 10 years ago. The last two movies were so bad, and you could always get some cool nostalgia from Alien. But I really appreciate that he's trying to bring people back into it, just like they did with Star Wars, and build a new fan base and take it in new directions. I always appreciate that because I'm not a purist. You know, when it comes to franchises being messed with, I'm like, dude, do your thing, you know?
I think as long as you make it clear that where it stands. If it's a reimagination of a series, like if for some reason in 50 years...
He's not doing a remake, you know?
It's an add-on.
Yeah. And I felt like Alien Covenant was better and more concentrated than Prometheus and hit a lot more notes, answered a lot more questions, and it was a lot more terrifying and fun to watch. So hopefully the next movie after this will be even better. Maybe it'll be an actual great movie instead of just a good movie.
Right.
We'll just keep getting better.
And it really was the first movie that really set him off as a director. Ridley Scott
was Alien. Yeah,
it was Alien. After that, it was Blade Runner, and then after that, forget it.
Gladiator.
Gladiator. Thelma and Louise.
That was a fantastic movie.
Hannibal. Oh, I forgot about Hannibal. Yeah, Kingdom of Heaven, Matchstick Men. Yeah, he's done a lot of good. American Gangster was one of my favorites.
He is, known for grandiose, epic themes and all that good stuff.
And I really appreciate that he's taking a step down now that he's a sort of a solidified director. He
did The Martian. I keep on forgetting.
The Martian.
I love The Martian.
I love The Martian. But now that he's kind of solidified himself as a good director, as one of the...
He is an all-time Hollywood heavyweight. Yeah,
yes.
It's Ridley Scott.
That he's still putting forth time and an effort into directing a sci-fi film, a horror film even.
Yeah.
Because the horror genre itself has somewhat devolved into a joke, really. I mean, even looking at...
Whoa.
Well, now, recently, within the past year, it's gone back up, right? But before that, we look at Saw, and it was on, again, its 8th installment, Saw 8 or whatever. Yeah, and what started out as a great premise, kind of crescendoed, really went down into just a money grab.
I can agree, because the same thing happened with, Paranormal Activity franchises that were, really unique at first, and then once you make 8 movies, it's just to put people's butts in the seats and get some money out.
Right. And we look at now Get Out is another prime example of redefining the genre. Yeah. My
favorite movie of last year was The Witch, and that is unlike any movie you'll ever see. Great horror movie.
I heard See No Evil. Was it See No Evil last year came out? Or was it Hear No Evil? It was one of the two.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yes.
Last year, there was really good horror last year.
There was really good horror films.
The Witch, there was that movie where those kids break into the blind guy's house.
Yeah, that's the one that I'm talking about.
Don't Breathe.
Don't Breathe, excuse me. I think See No Evil was with Kane or something.
I really have enjoyed both Conjuring movies. I think they're terrifying and they have really, really great characters.
Did you say terrible or
terrifying?
Oh, okay. I thought you said terrible.
No, I really like those films. Yes.
Okay, good.
So horror, I think has potential. I mean, horror always makes money too. Like if you can make a PG-13 horror movie with a budget of $3 million, it'll make at least $50 million just because that demographic of like 12 to 17-year-olds love to go see really bad horror movies. So that's why they churn them out and they just keep coming because people love
something that I appreciate about this blockbuster horror film is that it wasn't just jump scares.
No, not at all.
Jump scares are so incredibly old to me. Yeah. And now this adds an element of thriller. Yeah. I really enjoyed it. So
when it comes down to thriller and tension and drama, and then with like some gore and some good old jump scares sprinkled in there, I can dig it.
Now, I didn't want to see it when we had to do last week, but we had to. We were obligated to. There was nothing else.
You didn't want to see it.
I was so incredibly bored by Prometheus, and I wasn't terribly.
But you ended up liking it.
But I ended up liking it, enjoying it, which brings us up to what is your Rotten Tomatoes score for?
I will let you go first this time because I went first last week, right?
Yeah. Yes, thank you. It was your birthday last week, so now that that's over, give me the reins. All right, I will go first. I was going to give it a solid 72.
72?
Yeah, it was enjoyable, but I'm not sure I would sit down and watch it again, to be honest with you.
Really?
Yeah.
I would throw a 77 on it.
Ooh.
We are pretty close. Once it breaks 80, you're like, ooh, this is a really good movie.
Yeah.
I had fun watching it. I wouldn't pay to see it in a theater again, but if it popped up like on my HBO Go, on Netflix, I would probably give it a watch at home. I think it's a lot better than Prometheus, for sure.
Even though I wouldn't sit down and watch it again, I do feel that there were some things that I missed while watching it that were probably, like you said, referenced within the first movie, and now I was alluding to that. And whenever the next one comes out, Alien,
tie it all together,
Demon's Gates, and everything, I will go probably back and watch the first two.
Did you say David's Gates?
Something like that. It's David's
Wrath.
David's Return of David.
David is the coolest, most terrifying character, though.
Michael Fassbender is just a fantastic actor.
We gotta appreciate him while he's here, because he is in his
He just
prime.
needs to stop doing bad movies. Ever since 12 Years a Slave, he's kind of been a little less selective of his movies.
Hey, Steve Jobs, though.
Was all right.
I really liked. Well, he was the best part of Steve Jobs.
Well, of course, but just because you're the best part doesn't mean that, hey, get out of that film.
Aaron Sorkin's lightning punch dialogue is always great.
Aaron Sorkin's thing is everybody's, there's a big speech, and then everything's puppies and kittens, and then we're talking about the world is a better place. It's not that great, but it is great. It's just I'm Aaron Sorkin, as great as he is, he's got a style.
He's your Chris Pratt.
I think I had another guy who you said was my Chris Pratt.
I think
so now add him to the list. I've got a fake feud.
I think that every time you criticize someone, I'm just going to call them your Chris Pratt.
Add him to the list. I got a fake feud with him.
I criticized Chris Pratt one time, and apparently I hate his life now, and I want him to perish.
How dare you talk about his wife like that? All right, we will duke it out during this commercial break, and on the other side, we have a marvelous. Give me 5. Marvelous.
It's going to be great.
Yes, and may I entertain you with a little jingle on our way out?
Oh. I'm dancing.
Red Ribbon Realty Group at HomeSmart is a full-service real estate team of Phoenix natives with over 15 years of experience in the industry. When you work with them, you have 2 full-time realtors representing your best interests throughout your entire transaction, whether you are selling, buying, or renting. They also believe in supporting their community. Use code word chopped greens and Red Ribbon Realty Group will donate 15% of their net commission from your transaction to the nonprofit charity of your choice. Visit their website at www.redribbongroup.com and find them on Facebook. You can also email them at info@redribbongroup.com or call them at 602-888-6638. Red Ribbon Realty Group. Trust. Commitment. Home. And we are back, and we have a new guest who we just added. Ruby. Joins Chopped Greens.
Hello.
She says hello. This is, of course, my lovely and beautiful girlfriend, Gary, in case you didn't know.
Oh, wait, what? You guys are together?
Yeah,
I know.
We just
Hard
got
to believe. I know.
Why didn't you tell me, man?
I'm sorry. I thought it was public knowledge.
I was going to ask you to... Never mind. All right, let's keep going.
All right. Since it's no longer your birthday, I will go first because this is the section or segment of the show. Give me 5. It's where I've got 5 questions for you, Gary. You got 5 questions for me.
Let's do it.
We don't know what they are, but we will answer them honestly. I'll go first. All right. So Gary, during the NBA on TNT's coverage of the Cavs win Thursday night, they cut to a shot of Shaq's bare size 22 foot on live television. It left a lot of people scarred, including Kevin Garnett and Shaq's son, Shareef O'Neal. And of course, the Twitter responses were absolute gold. Some of the highlights were, at Shaq, get your radioactive big toe off my TV, I'm trying to eat. Shaq's big toe has a big toe. And at Shaq, your big toe trying to do the dab. It was absolutely horrifying.
Oh my god, I have a picture right
now
here.
that he's looking at it. If you have not seen it.
These are the feet of nightmares.
Yeah, exactly.
This is terrible.
So please go look at it if you're listening and you have not seen Shaq's feet. It is absolutely disgusting. However, this begs the question, Gary. What is the most abominable part of your body? And briefly describe it if you would.
Who says that?
Abominable. That's what got him. It was the abominable part.
Oh, jeez.
What do you hate about yourself, Gary?
But like, don't say it in like a. Oh, I hate my. You know, you have to own it. Own it.
All right. Well, so this is something. All right, I'm gonna give you 2-parter. So
all right.
I was
We're
really
in the trust tree.
I was really self-conscious about this when I was a kid. I have a birthmark in the perfect spot for a third nipple.
Oh yes, I see it. It's beautiful.
When I was a little
abominable.
kid, people tore me apart because of it. I tried to rip it off with a nail file, like my fingernails. It was awful, and everyone called me Trip Nip, and it was terrible. But
Trip Nip, that's ingenious.
My God.
But now I own it. I'm so proud of my birthmark. I call it the
perfect triangle.
The Triforce.
The Triforce.
And you guys are lucky to have witnessed it on this day.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. God
I have
bless.
so I
There's more.
So
there's more abominableness.
I have weird, kind of hairy feet, and I dropped a 45-pound weight on my big toe in high school, and my big toenail fell off, and like on the inside, like if I showed you, it like grew into my skin. I forget what that's called.
Ingrown toenail?
I have an ingrown toenail, and I've always been too scared to take it out. It's been there for like 4 years.
What?
So probably that.
You know, there's a doctor for that.
I shouldn't. Don't tell Maddie about this because she'll try to get it removed.
Then she'll look at it and she'll never see you in the same way.
Yeah.
I think you should go see a podiatrist and a chiropractor. Maybe not in that order. You know, whichever way you want to go.
A beer diatrist?
No. All right. Your turn, Gary.
All right. Well, kind of in line with the movie we saw.
Yes.
We're gonna start Yeah, right. We're gonna start colonizing planets soon. Like it's gonna happen. We're gonna use up all of our resources. We're gonna have to go somewhere else. The moon, Mars.
Okay.
If you had a choice, if you were like, let's say how old you are now, or like in the next 10 years, you could live out your life on Earth, or you could be part of a group of like 2,000 colonists going to colonize Mars. You could never come back to Earth. Would you be part of that, or would you stay here?
I would love to live in Uranus. That is a great planet. It has like the best, like of all habitabilityness, and it'd be hilarious just as a Twitter follow. You know, I live in Uranus.
I live in Uranus.
Yeah.
Well,
how do you know you have Wi-Fi in Uranus?
Well, I would set it before I go. I mean, either I will live in Uranus or I will die trying to get in Uranus.
Please stop saying that.
You have your answer. Phil would love to be in Uranus.
The planet
for Twitter follows.
is a great place. Yes. So please follow me. Coming up soon. Gary, tilapia has long been a staple fish in Brazilian diets, but now it has another use, helping burn victims. Yes, researchers at the Federal University of Ceará are confident that the skin of the freshwater fish can be developed as a bandage for 2nd and 3rd degree burns. Their experiments have shown that proteins in the fish skin, its moisture-retaining properties, disease resistance, and flexibility are similar to human skin. About 60 volunteers have had burns dressed with the skin, and they healed quicker and needed few painkillers.
So if you burn yourself, I can slap you with the fish.
Yeah, you just gotta skin a fish.
There you go.
Gary, if you could discover the cure for any disease or medical problem, which would you choose and why?
I would choose probably heart disease because I believe it is one of the leading causes of death.
Okay.
And I know a lot of people who are pretty close to me who've had people die of heart disease. And obviously our heart is what keeps us going, so if we could maybe not have diseases in it, that would be really cool.
A lot of tall people would really have, because that's really associated with taller people because their hearts are bigger, right?
Yeah.
It's funny how you can ask that to 100 different people and they'll give you 100 different answers just to whatever's closest to them.
Yeah.
You know, some would say arthritis, some would say...
breast cancer, some would say having an ingrown toenail.
Yeah, third nipple.
All those things.
All right, your turn, Gary.
All right, this is a would you rather.
Okay. You ready, Ruby?
You are locked in an arena. There's no way out. And you are put in there with you, one action movie character, and then either the alien or the predator. Who do you choose to fight, the alien or the predator?
So the action superstar is with me,
He's
like
on your
fighting
team.
with you. Okay.
And do you choose alien or do you choose predator? We're gonna do it right, not like the movie. And which action movie character?
You set this up way too easy, Gary.
Why?
Because I totally have another cop out. I would choose Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I would have the Predator in there.
All right. Okay. Well, then you know what? No Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I just outthought him.
No Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh.
You gotta pick,
Iron Man.
You gotta pick someone besides Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Well, you could choose Robert Downey Jr., but...
Or Iron Man.
No, not an actor, an action movie character.
Oh, okay.
So like
I
Darth
see.
Vader.
We could choose Iron Man.
Yeah, you could choose Iron Man.
Oh,
I
would
want
choose...
Iron Man.
Are you kidding me? I'd choose the Hulk.
The Hulk.
And I would choose Alien because there's no way the Hulk would get angry at me and try to beat me up because I'd just be curled up in a ball in the corner of the
And
arena.
then just let them duke it out.
Yeah, let them duke it out. Hulk can't die and he'll definitely get him by some point.
The aliens in this movie were terrifying too.
Yes.
Like, I would not want to fight one of those people.
Yeah, because I think Predator is smart enough to where his animal instinct would not kick in and he might try and kill me before he tries to kill Hulk.
Yeah.
So
but Alien would just go crazy.
Yeah, they would just fight each other animally. All right, excellent question there. Gary, yesterday, and this is for you, Ruby, as well. Yesterday, Kim and Kanye celebrated 3 years of marriage.
Yeah!
I'll be first in line to say that I didn't think it would last this long. Regardless, through their ups and downs, their blonde hair, music, nude covers, etc., I wish them a happy anniversary. So happy anniversary from here at Chopped Greens.
Happy birthday, yay!
Yeah, or anniversary.
I love you.
Now that that's done, how long before they get a divorce? Because let's be honest, this is just an imaginary wedding, right? An image wedding. Kris Jenner probably was just plugging in and playing with her daughters to help them gain notoriety. How long do you give it, you guys?
Well, let me let you know that people are really surprised when they hear this about me, but Kanye West is like one of my favorite musicians and artists. Because I'm not a super huge rap fan. Like, I like alternative rock, but for some reason, I really like Kanye West music.
Yeah, you feeling a little Yeezy?
Yeah, I love Yeezy.
Yeezy like Sunday morning?
I am a Yeezus worshiper.
Okay.
I randomly hope that they're both so weird and crazy that
they make it.
If they stay together forever. But honestly, logically, like what, 2-3 more years? Like,
I think. Well, yeah. What do you think?
Probably
2 to 3.
5 at most.
5 at most. Yeah.
That's generous.
Whenever Kanye is not popping out good music anymore, Kim will cut it out.
Yeah. Well, that'll never happen because he is Yeezus, God of all that we hold dear.
He is a musical, artistic genius. Your turn, Gary.
All right.
But happy anniversary.
Two-parter. Yes, happy anniversary, guys. What is the most random, cheesy action movie that you can imagine would be getting a sequel? As we were talking about sequels.
That hasn't
gotten a sequel yet. If you can't think of one, it's okay because that's gonna be
Tropical Thunder.
Tropic Thunder.
Tropic Thunder.
That's a good choice.
I actually think I would actually like that.
Think 20 years older.
It's probably something Bruce Willis did. I don't know. Kindergarten Cop.
No.
What?
Top Gun.
Oh yeah.
Top Gun is getting a sequel. Tom Cruise signed on.
That's true.
And Val Kilmer just tweeted a selfie of him and Tom Cruise, and he said, "I'm ready to be in Top Gun."
Did it fit
Just
all
do
of
it.
Val Kilmer and Tom Cruise?
Yeah.
Was there enough room for Tom Cruise?
But so what? Do you like Top Gun?
It's all right. I mean, it's one of those as a guy you kind of have to watch just so you can blend in with the guys. And,
With the other dudes and be like,
Yeah.
yeah, Top Gun, bro, for sure. I don't know why everyone's from Southern California.
yeah,
now,
Go
okay.
there.
What are your opinions on this sequel? Do you think it's gonna be any good? Or do you think it's just gonna be another flop?
Well, from what I've heard, Tom Cruise is not headlining it. Him and Val Kilmer are more like teachers to somebody else new, if I remember correctly.
Oh, Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, there you go. I think that could be well. I think that, pushing a character forward into a mentorship role, it's a very easy transition for audiences to accept it and then to kind of show a passing of the torch onto a new character and allow them to have their moment now, and we can say, okay, this is the next Indiana Jones or whatever.
Yeah.
So it could work. It's weird. I don't know how good of a plane action film does, because that's kind of like Battleship, and really you kind of
Battleship.
Yeah, I mean, outside of a car where it can go at different varying degrees, a plane can really only go one, right? I mean.
Yeah, so, they haven't put like reverse on the planes yet. I don't think.
So I'm gonna kind of, unless if they can somehow incorporate a blimp and a helicopter into this film, I don't know really how much different it can be from the first one. So I'll hold on bated breath.
I bet you they have some weird space battles in there.
Oh, a space
Top Gun in space.
That is just awful. All right, Gary, Mason Cross's child was recently asked to give her teacher some feedback on a paper form that was given out to the rest of the class. Ruby, this is to you too. The child did as she was asked, responding to the question, things my teacher can do better, with the following. Not use collective punishment, as it is not fair on the many people who did nothing, and under the 1949 Geneva Conventions, it is a war crime, end quote. Mason Cross tweeted out a picture of
How old is this child?
It was pretty young, like around 8 to 10.
Oh my god.
So Mason Cross tweeted out a picture of the response and said, my daughter actually submitted this feedback at school. Not sure if I should ground her or buy her ice cream. Twitter responded, and the little girl did indeed get her 2 scoops of ice cream, and all's well that ends well. This is all for me. Yes, I know. It was a beautiful read. This is all for me to say. Gary and Ruby, I have a list of ice cream flavors out there. According to Wikipedia. Yeah, I know. Out there, according to Wikipedia, and I want to see how many you can get in 30 seconds.
So I just have to pop them off?
You just have to pop them off like pills. You and Ruby can work together.
You ready?
Give me a second. I need to...
Wait, I don't understand.
We're just naming as many ice cream flavors as we can.
As you can, within 30 seconds.
What's the cap?
The cap?
Is there a goal?
I have just a bunch of generic ice cream flavors, and you can't repeat. It doesn't count if you repeat. So
how are you gonna keep track?
I can multitask.
You can just
okay.
Yeah, here we go.
Okay.
All right, you guys ready? Got 30 seconds on the clock.
You ready?
3, 2, 1, go.
Vanilla.
Chocolate.
Dolce de leche.
Chunky Monkey.
Chunky Monkey. Rocky Road.
Cookies and cream.
Just start naming candies like Snickers, Reese's.
Oh yeah. Peanut butter. Damn, you said Cherry Garcia.
Cashew.
Pistachio.
Banana.
Banana nut.
Mint chocolate chip.
Okay.
That's a good one.
See.
Coffee.
Coffee. Yes.
Orange creamsicle.
4, 3, 2,
the Black Death.
The Black Death. Didn't taste like anything going in.
I bet you Ben and Jerry's at one point had the Black Death.
All right, you guys missed a couple. You guys got all in all, let's see, 17, 25. You guys got around 25,
Almost
not bad.
one per second.
All right, so that is, you guys missed Blue Moon, bacon, butter pecan.
That's I think what you were thinking
I was like,
of.
I knew there's some weird.
Did you guys get
one,
yeah.
chocolate chip cookie dough or cookie dough?
I didn't say
Oh,
that.
it is.
Yeah.
Oh wow, what a gift.
Cookies and cream, of course.
I did say that.
I've got crab, garlic, grape,
Okay, that's dumb.
green tea. This is all according to Wikipedia. It is on the top.
Wikipedia is not
I've got
reliable.
Pokey, Neapolitan. You guys
She's
said
calling
that.
out your credibility, Wikipedia.
Oyster, spumoni. Oh, spumoni. That is a good one.
These are
What's
people.
spumoni?
It's almost like a mix of those
Spumoni.
fruity flavors. Yeah, it's a real match.
This is like.
And then
That's
Tutti
weird.
Frutti.
I have heard of
Yeah,
it.
the big ones you guys missed was bacon and butterbrickle.
I have never. Actually, when
And cookies and cream and chocolate chip cookies.
Denny's had that bacon milkshake, I most definitely was guilty of getting one and drinking 2 sips and saying, "What have I done with my
Yeah, I
life?"
feel like that
What's
was
it?
the best.
How did it go?
It was terrible. It's like a vanilla milkshake with like bacon chunks.
Yeah,
That's
that sounded
disgusting.
disgusting to me.
Gross.
All right, your turn, Gary.
So, I found out just a few hours ago that a scientist in Cuba has discovered that snakes hunt in packs.
No.
Snakes
really?
are not inherently pack animals like wolves
Right.
or birds that like stick together.
Wolfpack.
Exactly. But when it comes to a common goal, like if there's like a large animal, they will just instinctively come together and hunt down that large animal.
You know, I do know that they go in snake pits.
That's
so
true.
maybe that.
That's
maybe,
terrifying.
yeah.
I mean, snakes are very comfortable around each other.
Anaconda hunt for the blood orchid. That's my. That's all my snake fact. Snake fact that I know.
Yes.
Yes. Anyway.
So I have a little snake trivia for both you guys.
Oh, excellent.
I have 3 questions. Each of them contains 3 snake facts. One of them is a false snake fact.
Oh yes.
The other are 2 real snake facts.
This is Gary's revenge. This is Gary's
Can
gate.
you guys hiss out?
Alien Gary's gate.
Can you guys hiss out which of either the false snake fact or the true snake fact?
All
So,
right, here we go.
Question 1. Here's your first 3 facts.
And you said you have 5 sets of these, right?
3 sets.
3 sets, okay.
3 sets, 3 each.
I'm sorry, Ruby, to do this to you. Anyways, let's go.
A snake's decapitated head can still bite hours after its death, and these bites contain huge amounts of venom.
Okay.
Of the approximately 725 species of venomous snakes worldwide, 38 can kill a human with 1 bite.
Okay.
To avoid predators, some snakes will poop wherever they want. They will roll around in the poop and make themselves so dirty and smelly that predators will run away.
Okay, so that last one somewhat sounds like a dog or something, or like a pig maybe, that he just inserted a snake into. But the second one could be just a numbers game where he's just fudging up numbers.
Would you do that though? Would
Phil
you?
has gotten pretty low on this show
I know that's.
to mess with me.
Yeah, that's true, I have done
Yeah.
Making
that.
up panda
I can't-
facts and stuff.
I
like-
can't respect these like 20 people. It's 21. Sorry, that's wrong.
I did that back in my heyday. I've gotten past that. Anyways, which one are you gonna say, Ruby? I'll let you go first.
You go first. I need to think.
I will go. I think you just wanted to say the word poop, so I'm
That's
gonna say
what
the
I
snake.
was thinking. I'm gonna go with the poop.
That's your guys' final
Yes.
answer?
Yeah.
The poop one is true.
Oh.
The
That's
false one is
disgusting.
of the approximately 725 species
Yeah.
of venomous snakes, only 8 can kill a human with 1
I
bite,
knew
not
he would do it.
38. I try to really do different. Like I was
Yeah.
gonna go 9 instead of 8.
Right.
Alright, so second one. There are 15 recognized species of flying snakes, growing up to 25 feet. Some types can glide up to 800 feet through the air.
Okay.
Terrifying.
Only in South America are they located.
Yeah, that
Snakes
sounds like a Brazilian rainforest, like flying snake.
Amazon.
Snakes only need 6 meals a year to function properly.
Okay.
The king cobra produces enough venom to kill an elephant.
Alright, I think I know this one, so you go first, Ruby.
I think I'm gonna go with the first one.
Oh, yeah, me too, because I know my snake, back when I had it, like, if they eat a big enough meal, they process it and digest it forever, so...
So you're going with
We're
the
both
first
going with the
one.
first
Yeah.
one.
You got a pet snake?
I did.
Hey, what kind of snake did you have?
A corn snake.
That's amazing. I actually, after reading these, I kind of wanted a snake. You guys are both right. The first one is false.
Yes.
There are
Yeah.
only 2 species of flying snakes in the world. They only grow up to 4 feet, and they can only fly 300 feet through the air.
That's true, I should have thought that a little bit more and I would have been more convicted, because really, how many flying snakes do you know?
Yeah,
If
imagine-
I
there's-
know, dude, that's what got me.
I said 25 feet. Imagine
Yeah.
a 25-foot flying snake.
Hell no!
You're just walking through the Amazon and you just hear this...
That's the Prometheus snake.
Yeah, there you go.
Alright, last but not least, the venom of the Brazilian pit viper is used in American high blood pressure medications.
Okay.
Half of the world's 40,000 snake deaths per year occur in New Zealand. When anacondas mate, they mate in a huge breeding ball. The ball consists of 1 female and nearly 12 males, and they stay in their mating ball for up to a month.
What was the second one? Just give me the second one, really.
Half of the world's 40,000 snake deaths per year occur in New Zealand.
Okay. You go ahead, Ruby.
Do you know it?
I have a hunch.
Because I think I do know it, only because I know that one of those is definitely true.
Yeah, me too. All right, I'll go first.
Okay.
I'll go with the second one.
That's your false one?
That is my yes. That is
Which
false.
one was the second one again?
The half of the world's snake deaths occur in New Zealand.
What was the first one? Sorry.
The venom of the Brazilian pit viper is used to treat high blood pressure and
Okay.
American medications.
Second one.
Dang, you guys sniffed it out.
Yeah.
Half of the world's snake deaths occur in India. Not
Yeah,
New
that,
Zealand.
Yeah,
that
New
makes
Zealand, that was-
complete sense.
That was completely.
New Zealand, actually, fun fact, no snakes live on New Zealand. It's
Yeah.
one of the
Yeah,
only
I was
2
gonna say it.
places in the world.
Where's Steven Adams from?
Stephen Adams from New Zealand, man.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
He's never been bit by a snake, thankfully.
All right, me and Ruby tied there. Go
We're
us.
gonna have to come up with some really mean questions next week. Holy
Yes.
cow.
All right. My last one here, Gary. Kuwaiti customs, excuse me. Kuwaiti customs. Kuwaiti, maybe. Yeah, whatever. Customs seized 178 pills wrapped around a homing pigeon. Yes. The department's employees tracked a homing pigeon that was coming from Iraq and finally caught it above a building near the customs' department. Kuwaiti newspaper Al Rai reported. Homing pigeons were used in the past to carry messages as a messenger pigeons, and they crossed a distance of approximately 100 miles. At first, they only delivered messages, but after training, man taught them how to deliver messages back and forth more than once a day. Gary, is this Sparta or is this madness?
This is not madness. This is Kuwait!
Yeah, isn't it?
I am actually so happy that people are still using carrier pigeons. If I had
Even if it's
To transport drugs?
well, there's an asterisk on it, but if I could, I would totally send my girlfriend like a little love note with like a bird that would land outside her window. And probably
But pigeons are terrifying.
No, Maddie is terrified of birds. She
I was
hates
gonna say,
them.
if Philip did that,
That would be a
would
terrible.
leave him.
You know, you and me can send our instead of.
you can send them to each other.
We're gonna start
Yeah.
doing gimme fives in the middle of the night with like secret pigeons. It's gonna be
Yeah,
great.
so you'll just hear this. It's like, and you'll be like, oh, honey, it's chopped greens.
I gotta take it. It's for work.
It's for work. I gotta take this
I
pigeon.
gotta take this pigeon.
All right, there we go. Your turn, Gary. Your last
All
one.
right, so the sports magazine Complex, or I don't know if it's a sports magazine, but they have a sports section, just wrote a little article, and they ranked the NBA's NBA teams' Twitters from worst to best with like a metric that determined how savage their memes were, how cool they were with fans, and all that good stuff.
Okay.
So, two-part question. Number one, where do you think the Suns fell?
Where do I think the Suns fell on the Twitter poll? If I remember correctly, they're pretty generic. So I'm going to say they're at the bottom half. Do I give you like a specific number?
Sure.
Let's go 20, 25.
Wow, you didn't. The Suns' Twitter actually almost cracked the top 10. They were 11th, mainly because of Alan Williams and his crazy celebrations and the memeableness of him.
Go Alan
Second
Williams.
question. I'm going to give you the top 5 NBA Twitters.
Oh, excellent.
But-
And we'll choose which one has the higher ranking.
I'm going to give you, top 5, and I'm going to scramble them. Try to put them back in order from 1 to 5, okay?
Why don't you, did you have them in alphabetical order?
No, I'm just going to...
You'll just scramble them.
mix the
Okay.
order, yeah.
All right, let me write them down. All right,
ready?
go.
It's got the Sacramento Kings,
Okay.
Milwaukee Bucks,
Okay.
Philadelphia 76ers,
Okay.
Portland Trailblazers,
Trailblazer.
and the Toronto Raptors.
And the Raptors. So this is definitely the top 5. We just got to put them in the right order, right?
Yep.
All right, let's go number 5. Ruby, you want to help me on this one? Number 5, I think, has got to be the Bucks, right? What happens in Milwaukee? Nothing, right? It's got to be the Bucks. Number 5?
I was thinking 76ers, but I know nothing about sports.
Right.
So.
We'll stick with the Bucks at number 5.
Very good
4.
choice.
4 will be 76ers.
Fair.
Is that so? We'll stick with the 76ers at 4. Portland, great city. I think it's probably boring, so that's probably number 3.
Portland is weird. Portland is cool.
So you
Portland
think
is,
that's like a
is
top
like the
2?
most memeable city ever.
But isn't
Portland, they have a show on the city.
Portlandia?
Duh.
Yeah.
Well, but our last 3 are Sacramento Kings, Trailblazers, and Raptors.
Nobody
we have
cares
Toronto.
about them.
Sacramento's a pretty dumb city, actually.
It is, but you're trying to get me off of that because I know that they're a great meme. They have great responses. So I'm going to go with Sacramento as number 1 later. So I just need, which is worse, Trailblazers, the Portland, or Toronto Raptors?
Portland is not weird. Canada is awesome, so I don't know.
Okay, Toronto Raptors will be number 3.
Okay.
And number 2 will be the Trailblazers. So all in all, we've got Sacramento Kings 1, Raptors 2, Trailblazers 3, 76ers 4, and Bucks 5. How close were we?
You should have listened to your lady.
Oh.
Portland is number 1.
What?
Yes!
Philadelphia is number 2.
What?
Sacramento is number 3. Toronto is number 4. Milwaukee is number 5.
Milwaukee. So we got Milwaukee right.
And
I knew nothing happened in Milwaukee.
Each of these 5 teams actually have great Twitters because a lot of them, like, nothing happens in their cities. And besides Portland and Milwaukee, which are just kind of average to good teams, the others are kind of bad teams. So they just, I guess Toronto. They just gotta have fun posting memes.
That's true.
And Portland is cool.
Portland is a rad city, man.
Yeah.
It is. So they're probably hitting you back with that theological meme of, but are you? Or something. Velociraptor all the time.
It was showing all the tweets that they sent out when they were losing by like 50 to the Warriors. They were just like, aight then. Whatever.
All right.
Put a
Ruby.
bird on it.
Put a bird on it. All right, Ruby.
What?
I need your like ultimate radio voice. Are you ready? Can you be like a commercial reader?
Maybe.
All right. I want you to tell the audience because she knows, and we didn't even discuss this, but we both know. What's the movie that we're gonna watch for next Chopped Greens podcast? Say it in. Okay, you gotta.
I don't know the actual.
Did we discuss?
Huh?
We did or we did?
No, you and me didn't discuss this.
Okay, you
But
guys-
we know
But
it.
it's so obvious.
Our choices are.
Does it rhyme with Iris?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. No. Right. Of course. We're not.
I
Gonna
was
go,
like, wait a second. What
As-
else
as
is
nice-
out right
as
now?
nice-
Nothing
nice-
worth watching.
Well, Baywatch was the other one.
Yeah,
was
I
our
would-
choice.
yeah.
But the one that we're gonna see is.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Can you say it with a pirate voice?
No.
Pirates
Of the Caribbean.
From the Caribbean.
Dead men tell no wagtails.
What?
Wagging tails.
Tails.
Aw.
And what is it rated, Gary?
What is it rated?
Yeah. No, you didn't get it.
MP.
What is it rated? Yeah! Ah, there we go.
But it's actually
rated
PG-13.
It's actually PG-13, but it's R. All right, we will have a bountiful plethora of pirate jokes.
Bountiful
Next
plethora.
It's a little redundant.
I like it.
But it's like a
Bountiful
salad. It's
plethora
all
of pirate
lettuce.
jokes.
It's all lettuce, but there we go. All right, so we will see you next week on Chopped Greens. For Chopped Greens, this has been
Gary Boucher.
And I am your host, Philip Amerine. Thank you so much for listening. Catch up on YouTube if you missed any shows. Bye.
Bye.